So there are 9 Supreme Court justices and 9 players on one team on a baseball field. Coincidence? Yeah, I mean, probably it is. One of the most common mistakes in Washington is to confuse movement with action. That's exactly what's happening these days when it comes to the debate over whether the Supreme Court should expand from its current 9 seats as a way to offset the 6-3 conservative majority currently on the court, which was cemented by former President Donald Trump's 3 appointments over the course of his 4-year term. Doesn't sound as cool. So in mid-April, a handful of Democratic members of Congress, House and Senate, introduced legislation that would add 4 seats to the court for a total of 13. Quote, "Our democracy is under assault and the Supreme Court has dealt the sharpest blows," tweeted New York Congressman Mondaire Jones, one of the co-sponsors of the legislation. He added this, "To restore power to the people, we must #expand the court," end quote. Now that move came about a week after President Joe Biden, he's a Democrat, signed an executive order establishing a commission to study whether the nation's highest court should be expanded. Quote, "The commission's purpose is to provide an analysis of the principal arguments in the contemporary public debate for and against Supreme Court reform, including an appraisal of the merits and legality of particular reform proposals," read the executive order, and it went on to say this, quote, "This action is part of the administration's commitment to closely study measures to improve the federal judiciary, including those that would expand access to the court system," end quote. Now, at first glance, you might be tempted to think that things are happening. After all, the Democratic establishment listened to its liberal wing during the 2020 campaign and is reacting to blunt the clear advantage on the court that Trump, with a major assist from Senator Mitch McConnell, established over these last 4 years. Huh? Yeah, not so much. What's happening in Washington in regard to changing makeup of the court is sound and fury, signifying not all that much. I may have just come up with that. It's either me or William Faulkner. Let's start with the legislation introduced by liberals in Congress. Now, there's a biggity big difference between introducing a bill, which any member of Congress can do at virtually any time, and that piece of legislation having any realistic chance of passing or even making it to a final vote. This court expansion bill is a lot of the former and none of the latter. Quote, "I'm not yet convinced the court needs to be expanded," Virginia Democratic Senator Tim Kaine told CNN's Manu Raju. Ditto Illinois Senator Dick Durbin. Quote, "I'm not ready to sign on," end quote. So there's zero chance that the court expansion bill could garner the 60 votes it would need to end debate on the measure and set up a final vote on passage in the Senate. Heck, the bill wouldn't even come close to getting 50 votes right now, as evidenced by comments from Kaine and Durbin, who aren't exactly the 2 most conservative members of the Democratic Senate caucus. I see you, Joe Manchin. Now, it's not at all clear that the bill could even pass the House, where A, majority rules, and B, Democrats have the majority. With a series of vacancies and Republicans' double-digit seat gain in the 2020 election, the Democratic majority is extremely thin, meaning Speaker Nancy Pelosi could afford to lose very few votes if she wanted to shepherd the court expansion to passage, which, of course, she doesn't want to do.
No, I don't know that that's a good idea or a bad idea.
Well, okay then. Sounds like an endorsement. Not. Then there's the Biden Court Committee, which is far less than initially meets the eye. Why? Well, the long-running joke in Washington is that if the president wants to look like he's doing something while not actually doing very much, a commission or committee is the preferred vehicle to make that happen. Because it looks like a politician is acting. He's forming a commission, people! While what he's really doing is kicking the can down the road when he hopes passions around the issue will be less inflamed. So the mission of this 36-member commission speaks to the desire to look like something decisive is being done while, well, it's actually not. Sidebar, how often have you ever seen 36 people all agree on the right way to solve a politically thorny problem, or even where to go out to dinner? Yeah, me too.
It's not about court packing. There's a number of other things that our constitutional scholars have debated. The last thing we need to do is turn the Supreme Court into just a political football. Whoever has the most votes gets whatever they want. Presidents come and go. Supreme Court justices stay for generations.
And as CNN's Supreme Court whiz Joan Biskupic wrote of the commission, quote, "The commission is expected to begin holding public hearings in upcoming weeks and report back to the president in 6 months after sizing up options," end quote. So, The committee's goal isn't to offer a specific guideline about court expansion, or even focus solely on expanding the court, which means that the ultimate recommendations, when they come sometime in late 2021 or early 2022, will likely be overly broad and filled with caveats, which isn't likely to create pressure on Biden or Congress to make changes. In short, there's a reason that the composition of the seats in the court hasn't changed since 1869, and why 2021 isn't going to be the year that it happens. And that is the point. We make new Point episodes every Tuesday and Thursday. Be sure to check them all out.